Welcome back to the Men's Talk Show. We are we have a very special episode today. We're going to be talking about why men do not talk about their health issues like women do. And this is a very important topic because we want to kind of shift the narrative from, mental to physical. And we have a whole nother other topic that we could talk about too on the physical side of why men just don't talk about their health too, but that's for another thing. So I to get us started off, I did a little bit of research here because I think that's very important to kind of understand. Um, it's a Cleveland Clinic survey that they did a why. So the survey that Cleveland Clinic did was 53% of men said that their health just isn't something they talk about. Men are more likely to talk about sports, their jobs, and current events, but only 7% will only talk about health with their male friends. 7%.
I believe it.
That's a low number. Yeah, that's a believable number, but it's super low, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I got a small list of like the top things that are affecting men's health as well, like lung cancer, COPD, liver disease, prostate cancer, stroke, erectile dysfunction, sexually transmitted diseases. All these things are like really taboo topics to be talking about with your friends as well. So yeah, I feel
I know,
silence.
especially as I was growing up, as a teenager, I started hearing more and more about prostates and prostate cancer. And that's one that's like very intimate because when you get a prostate exam, they have to go rectally, right? And how many men want that, right? So that's definitely not something you're talking about with your boys like, oh man, I gotta go get my prostate examined, because I'm 40. Like it's
How
just not
many men
something
judge their
that you're
doctors
gonna
by
talk
the
about.
size of their fingers, man? It's
Right? So it's like it's a very intimate thing because also the prostate like controls your stream, and so like that's how you start like pee properly and things like that. And that's also like it's one of those things where it's very embarrassing and shy to talk about. So it absolutely it's one of those things like you mentioned like prostate lung cancer. Like, oh man, I smoked back in the day, so now I can't. Now I got this bad cough, but I can deal with it. I can see a guy talking about that, but talking about his prostate is, yeah, I think that's one that's going to be on the hush.
Yeah, that would be an uncomfortable topic, and 40 years old, man. Any man 40 years old, it's that time, and you need to go get that shit checked out. As uncomfortable and as embarrassing as it is, you don't have to share it with your friends that you got it done, but you should. You absolutely should because it could motivate somebody else to go get it done as well. Because you never know, man, and that's the only way for them to tell. So,
Yeah,
well, it's
quick.
not the only way, but it's the quickest, fastest way for them to tell that there's an issue.
Yeah, quick story that I want to kind of share with you guys. Like, it was some times where I was dealing with some chest burns, and I would sit there in so much pain because I was afraid to tell anybody. Like I was living with my mother at the time. And, she's pretty straightforward, asking me if everything's okay, but I sat in that pain. And anybody that had chest burns know that shit hurts. And for you to be a guy and sit there in pain and act like everything's okay, that's a big no-no. You need to go to the doctor, go get checked out, run some tests to just make sure you're okay. Because if you don't get tested, you don't know that small chest pains or large chest pains or how whatever type of pain you're in, that can lead to something else that could be fatal for your life. So I'm a big advocate for men to go get tested, making sure that, they're okay physically. It's not always just about mentally. It works hand in hand, but physically, you need to make sure you're okay too.
Well, one good thing about men is we're pretty internal creatures, so when your machine's off. You know when something's not vibrating right, when you're not operating how you need to be. And when you do, you need to get into the doctor. That's just it's simple fact. There's things that yeah, okay, don't be going to the doctor if you get a cold, but if it's just a different cold, man. You know your system, you know your body, you know how you deal with that kind of garbage. And when it comes into you and when you're dealing with it, if something's off, check it out, man, because that's your body, that's your mind, that's your system telling you that something's not right. And don't just ignore those warning signs.
Well, you know what we do? We hope it just goes away on its own, right? That's the big part of it right there. It's like, yo, I got this pain in my arm. It'll go away.
Yeah, that's true, man. I got like a week time limit if I have an ailment of some kind. If I'm like, okay, yeah, this is like I was telling you guys before the break or before we started the show, when I cut my finger, I was like 36 hours before I went to the doctor to go get it stitched up. Like, should I go? Shouldn't I go? Should I go? Nah, I don't really need to. Should I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Should I? Nah, I shouldn't. Nah, it hurts now. I should go. And then when I went, it was too late. The doctor's like, "You done fucked up. You should have been here earlier because now you just got to deal with this, man. Now your finger's stuck like this. You might get an infection. You messed up. You should have been here." And even my
Yeah,
daughter was like, "Dad, you should have went. You should have went. Dad, you should go." I'm like, "Don't talk to me like that. I don't need to hear that. I'll just throw some duct tape on it. I'll be fine."
yeah, there was another instance where I actually did go to the doctor because I worked out too hard. I would lift 15 pounds. And for the person that's just starting out with lifting weights, they kind of have to build your way up to specific weights. And here, thinking I'm strong enough, thinking I can lift 15 pounds in just the beginning, boy, was I wrong. It didn't hurt. Nothing hurt me after I left the gym that day. But the next day, I woke up in so much pain. My ribs was on fucking fire. And I was like, this ain't normal for it to be hurting every 2 or 3 minutes like this. Something's not right. So I had to go to the doctor in that instance. And he kind of broke it down to me like, why do, in so many words, he was looking at me like I was retarded. Like, why would you lift 15 pounds when you're just getting started off? So that's another instance where I think that I really wasn't going to go to the doctor, but to talk about my health, but I had no choice in that instance because when your ribs is on fire, something's wrong. Ding, 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 ding.
I think part of it too is a couple things. So first is ego, right? That's probably a big one there. It's like we want to show that we're macho in some type of way that, little pains and bumps and bruises don't hurt as much as they do. So that's a part of it. And another part too, is health insurance, right? When you go to the doctor for one little thing, they're gonna charge $500-$600. And if you don't have health insurance, that's a huge deterrent.
Yeah, see, that's something I don't deal with in Canada, and that like for the little bit that I do use it, I'm very appreciative of our healthcare system here. But man, that would like for low income people, that's an instant out, man. I don't got $500 to go to the doctor. It's
Absolutely.
simple as that, man. Like there's just ain't happening. Sorry, ain't happening. I don't care if my fucking arm got cut off. I ain't going.
So let me tell you a quick story. So when I was a kid, and so when I was a kid, I used to play outside a lot. We used to play tackle football, and I was like 10 years old, and this the bigger kid fell on me, and I was like, man, something wrong with my arm, but it'll be okay. So I told my dad, and it's like, all right, you still going to school. If it still hurts tomorrow, then I'll take you to the doctor. All right, come back from school. Hey, damn, my shoulder still hurts. He's like, man, you can run around, you can lift your arm. It's all right. Go back to school again. It still hurts the next day. I'll take you to the doctor. Go to school again. All day my arm is hurting, but I can move it though. But it just feels really weird. And yeah, finally I go home again. It's like, man, it still hurt. All right, one more day. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Put some ice on it. So I think it was there like 3 or 4 days had passed. He was like, man, all right, finally, I'll take it to the doctor. All right, and we didn't have health insurance either. And I took him to the doctor, and sure enough, my collarbone was broken. So I've been walking
I
around with a
knew it was
broken
gonna be
collarbone.
collarbone or clavicle, man. I
Yeah,
fucking knew it.
absolutely. Broken collarbone for like 3 or 4 days as a young kid. And still to my day, my dad still talk about it. It's like, "Man, I feel so bad because I was so upset thinking like, man, I gotta pay for this, but oh wow, you're going to school with a broken collarbone. So yeah, health insurance definitely matters for low income people.
Right? And like your dad just totally imprinted that code in your brain, right? Like you going through that as a kid, but like I'm in pain. Your dad's like, yeah, but it ain't expensive enough yet. Just go back to school. He was like, we're just gonna ice that shit out. Just
Yeah,
don't
because
you worry, you'll be better because it's
it's
gonna cost.
compounding. Because not only have to go to the doctor, right, and pay for that, but then he has to take off a day of work to take me to the doctor. So that's another part. I mean, so yeah, when you say imprinted, it absolutely, because at 37 years old now, I still don't go to doctor. Like if something hurts, I gotta tell you, I got something going on right here now, like something pain inside. It's been like a month, and I'm like, all right, I need to go to the doctor, but I'm still not going, even though I know I need to go. And I'm in the military, and it's free. So I'm just like,
Is your wrist getting better, Wayne?
it's okay. I mean, my finger, I can't move my thumb past that. So for comparison, I should be able to go all the way over here, but I can only go that far. I can only go down that much. I
Okay.
need to go back to the doctor. He's probably going to maybe have surgery. We're going to like take out this ligament here and put it up here. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And there's another reason probably why men don't talk about their health because yeah, like you said, they don't want to miss work. But I think it's also that ego part of it too, because it was the time where I I sprained my wrist as well too, and I had to, put it in a bandage and stuff like that. And the doctor wanted me to take off a week of work. I'm like, I cannot fucking do that. I got bills to pay. And I went to work and I was working at Marks and I was pushing those carts too. And I just push right through the pain. Like I didn't give up because I needed money. Like
Unless you got a 9 to 5 corporate job, like most people don't have the capability. Like if you work at your department store or a grocery store or you're, you know, a laborer, you probably don't have the sick leave or paid time off that you can take,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
So that
that's
hurt.
another big one, right? And like a lot of companies I find don't pay benefits now. There's a lot of companies around Canada that benefits are like option. So if you want to pay into them, then we can get them for you, but it's your choice to pay for them. So most of our employers don't even cover our fucking benefits anymore. And that's I think part and parcel because we have free healthcare. So they're like, well, just go to the fucking doctor. We don't need to pay for it. But prescriptions aren't covered, right? So prescriptions are still expensive as hell. You go and like if you need pain medicine for a month that's coming out of your pocket, that's expensive. And I'm sure it's crazy down there, but like that'll cost you probably 120 bucks up here, somewhere around that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
times that by four. That's probably what it
God
costs
damn.
down here.
God damn. Ow. No, I ain't ever going to the States, man. Nope, ain't happening. And if I do and I come down there and I get hurt, y'all motherfuckers better bury me
So,
because I
so
ain't
look,
taking
this is this is the
nothing.
crazy part. This is the crazy part about the state's healthcare, right? You go overseas, and I've been overseas, and like most countries that were there, they have free healthcare for their citizens, right? And I get it too. Part of it is like we have so many people, 300 something million people. We're like top three country, most populated country in the world. So like Switzerland or Sweden or Norway, like, where they have the great healthcare, but they're populated Canada. Their population is a tenth of the size of the United States. So that's part of it. But anytime like the military, all right, federal and congressional members, presidents, things like that, like they have free healthcare. So in the military, we have free healthcare. If I just go to a doctor right now, it's paid for. So we have a system where and it works pretty well. Why we can't expand that to everybody else? And it gets into the whole pop political scene, and we don't want to get into all that. But it baffles me sometimes. So I retire next year, and I'm gonna have to get health insurance and start paying for it for the first time, and that's something I'm having to learn. And if I barely go to the doctor now, imagine how little I'm going to go once I'm retired.
And
Or
also,
on the other hand, because you haven't went, how much are you gonna have to go after your benefits kick out, right? And then all of a sudden, all these ailments are gonna start coming up, and then you're like, well, goddamn.
yeah,
Absolutely.
those deductibles are a motherfucker.
I never understood that deductibles and copay. Like, are they not the same thing? Like, this is crazy to me. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, you have insurance, but you have to pay it to use it. But if you don't use it, it still increases. If you use it, it increases even more. Like, what does it make it make sense?
Yeah, some insurances only cover if you have pre-existing conditions. So that's not really helping people that's crazy. Like it doesn't make
Well,
any sense that, different insurances have these policies, but you can't even use them until something really goes wrong. And it's a hot mess. So you really got to know the ins and out of that in order
yeah,
to
that's
get the
that's
benefits
a
of it.
really that's kind of a hidden thing why a lot of men, like when I was a young man coming up in the trades, I think I was 22, I had a really serious back injury at work. And I didn't get much fucking help for that because one, I had to go back to work, and two, it wasn't serious enough that, I needed time. Well, I did need time off, but I was able to get modified duty. So, basically right back to work. But my back injury went on to a record. So now at every single fucking company I've ever been at since I was 22, they know about my back injury and they instantly won't cover me for anything back related. What the fuck is that? So it happened at work, right? I had no choice in the situation. It's not like I did something stupid and like was smoking dope and fell off of a building or something. I was lifting something heavy with somebody else and they dropped their end. So I was stuck with all the weight and it compressed my spine, fused the disc in my back. Like that fucked me up for, oh man, I would say 5 years. And like the most brutal fucking back pain that would just pop up out of no for no reason at all. And then I wasn't at that job where I learned about the insurance thing, but at my next job when I went to sign up for benefits, they asked like in your questionnaire, they asked if you had any previous injuries or anything. And I just checked off no, 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 no. And 2 weeks later, they came out and fired me. And I was like, what? Like, what is going on? They're like, well, you lied on your insurance documents. You said you didn't have an injury, but you have a previous back injury. We think that you're trying to scam us for WCB money. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is whatever. Okay, I'll go to the next company, whatever. But if at that place, when I went to the newest company, they also had a record of my back injury. So it's like I was honest and I told them, and then I was like outed on insurance for any future back injuries, which like I'm a fucking tradesperson, man. What other thing am I going to injure? Either getting hit with a grinder, which has happened, or dying from smoke for fuck's sakes. My back's the next thing to go, and now I'm not allowed to get covered for that. So like, that's horseshit.
So does the government cover your back, or is this strictly just the employees that won't cover it?
So it's like through our benefit health insurance. So like anything when you sign up for a company, they basically cover things like massages, prescriptions, dentists, things like that. Um, but because of my back injury, they won't cover anything masseuse, therapy, anything like that.
Ah,
Yeah, which is crazy. So benefits are useless for me other than for prescriptions because I have dentures, so I don't even fucking need dental. And the other thing is because I'm a parent, my kids can't get dental if I don't have it, which is stupid. So I have to pay for dental for me, even though I don't need it. I haven't needed dental work in 6 years because I have dentures. And now I have to pay it because my kids might need to go to the dentist once every year for a checkup because they're really good about taking care of their teeth. So I have
Well,
to pay and pay and pay and pay and pay in hopes that maybe one day I'll get to use it, and then it
Right.
just ain't happening.
They'll say, "Sorry, sir, you missed one payment 2 years ago, so now you're ineligible." So why have I been paying this whole time?
Insurance is a whole other thing, man. Don't even get me started on that. How many things are we insured for in our lives, right? Like, there was at one point when I owned a business, I think I was paid like $1,250 worth of different kinds of fucking insurance, like house insurance, car insurance, business insurance, tool insurance, this insurance, insurance on my insurance, and then my health insurance. It was fucking ridiculous, man.
I didn't know you can have insurance on top of insurance.
It felt like it. It literally felt like I think I had a life insurance plan that I also had insurance on.
Important to kind of, put yourself out there first to kind of make it known that it's okay to talk about, your health issue. Because, men will talk about sports, they talk about latest cars, they talk about how many girls they fuck, but they don't talk about their health, especially knowing your, HIV status. That's very important. You can't just keep fucking around all these women and not know if you're healthy or not. That's
Yeah,
very,
I think we can go. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. We can go that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, even me, I got to take my own advice because I'm retiring next year, and I got pains and ailments all over the place, and I just, it's hard to just go. For one, like I know I'm needed at my job, so like keep going to the doctor. I'm away from my job, so that burdens my colleagues because they have to step up. And then like you go to the doctor, it takes a long time. So when my son was young or my daughter have something, this is something we didn't talk about. It takes a long time. It's you're at the doctor for hours. If you just have a cough or if you just need a stitch, right? You go to the ER, you're there for 5, 6 hours. It's not no quick in and out. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
another
but
good point, man.
yeah, no one wants to sit around the doctor for 5 or 6 hours, but that 5 and 6 hours could save your life if you don't go. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that men and women don't see. That's dormant in your body. And unless you have those yearly checkups, you wouldn't even know. A lot of things can be just sitting quietly in your body and you wouldn't even know.
Like we talked about the prostate. We got to get our checks. I know I'm almost 40. That turned 39 next year. So yeah.
Yeah, my doctor was like, I think it's time you're getting close to 30, getting a prostate. I said, no, I can wait another 10 years.
Yeah,
I'm
you
too
can't look
young
at
for
somebody
that.
like that.
Right. Last minute tips. All right, guys. So always judge your doctor by the size of their fingers. Okay. That's important for men. When you're judging your doctors and you're going out there searching for your doctor, make sure you look at his hands. Okay. You don't want a big chunky finger fucking monkey doing your prostate exam when you turn 40. So smarten up.
Yeah,
Another
yeah,
one, watch your pee, man.
yeah. And
Keep on
Yeah,
I think guys
watch your
don't feel
pee. This is
comfortable with
one
another
thing
guy going up in their body, you know?
most men will ignore this shit like it's crazy, but if your pee isn't like a nice clear yellow is like, okay, clear is how it should be. But if it's anything orange, dark, you need to deal with that shit, man.
no,
And don't
you're
just
absolutely.
go on Google and Google what can I do to cure my pee? Because it's not going to help. You need to actually get to the root of the cause. Go to the doctor, get checked out. You feel your kidneys hurting? That's a serious sign, man. Kidney fatigue is a serious sign that something's going on in your body.
Well, let's also say at the same time, your poop too. I mean, we all spend 45 minutes in the bathroom. All right, just just have a look and see how it is. I mean, you got to understand. Like, I really understood that when I had my kids, especially as a baby, because you need to look at their poop and see what it is to see how their body is doing. And the same for adults, right? If your poop is black, right, or extremely smelly like all the time, like that's a problem in there. That's your body telling you like, hey, there's something's wrong.
Yeah.
right? If
Or if
it's
it's
always
red
consistent,
too. If it
yeah, if
produces
it's
red.
red,
Yeah.
if it's red, and you haven't been eating hot Cheetos.
Don't go there, what?
But yeah, you need to look at your poop too. That's something we got to talk about, right? You got to understand the different consistencies, why they matter, right? So super hard like a rock, not good. You're probably dehydrated, right? Too runny, that's also not good. So we definitely need to look at that too. And it starts with these conversations.
If you're constantly on the toilet all day long, something's wrong too.
Yeah,
Constant diarrhea.
yeah,
Well, and I think it really comes down to knowing your system really well too, right? Like it's not a hard thing to do when you're internal. Most of us men are we spend most of our time in our head. Well, our head is our body and our body is our mind, right? So if your gut is healthy and your body is healthy, your mind is healthy, you're on a pretty good path. But you can feel when something's out of alignment, when something's not right. And that's your sign to go and get checked out and to speak up to your friends because maybe they're dealing with some shit too. Maybe you guys can go as a friend. You know what I mean? Have a fucking bro date where you go and go to the doctor together and get checked out. Maybe don't make it your prostate exam because that'd be a little bit weird, but you know what I mean? Maybe, hey man, there's some
yeah.
fucking close friends out there, you know.
Oh
All
yeah.
right, let's wrap this up, guys. So, any final
No.
words? Any final words of advice or wisdom to let the fellows know out there that it's okay to go get help, screenings, and things to that nature?
Yeah, it's all good. Just you just gotta go. You gotta take care of yourself, especially if you got a family, you want to be there for them. And if you're not getting yourself checked at least once a month, or sorry, once a year, or you may not be there for your family for much longer. So just get checked, get it taken care of.
Yeah, no matter how young you are, just go and get checked. Go get checked for cancer. Go get your blood checked. Make sure you don't have high blood pressure. Go check, make sure everything's all right. If you're having a lot of migraines, like I used to have, go get that checked out because it could be something serious. You know, just go get checked out. I'm a big advocate. You don't have to feel less than a man. That doesn't make you less than a man to go get checked out. That's my final words. What about you, Chris?
I think for me, I'm going to speak to the single men out there, and you need to be getting STD checks regularly, STI checks regularly if you're out there with your partner, and you need to make sure that that's a borderline, just basic requirement when you meet somebody. This whole fuck around culture where everybody's just banging everybody all the time, it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not safe and you need to make sure that you're protecting yourself because you never know who your partner was with before, right? And you don't want to be that person who spreads that kind of shit around. So be aware, know yourself, know your body, get checked regularly. If you're out there with multiple partners all the time, I hope that you are regularly checking yourself out. And I hope you have boundaries to make sure that they're doing the same thing because that's your life that it can affect and it can affect it in a great way. So
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
That's a note. That's on a note. We talked about that today. We want to just continue to thank all of our subscribers. We've been seeing a growth in our YouTube channel. So we definitely want to thank you guys. Um, you know, we're not too far away from 200 subscribers. So that's keep subscribing, keep watching us, keep following us right into the show if you want to. Let us know if you have any ideas that you want to come onto the show. We're always inclusive and we're always looking for fresh new ideas. But on that note, take care, fellas.
Later.